Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. So I'm going to fire with the first question. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and stuff?
So my name's Jadaker. I'm an alternative rapper from West Yorkshire originally, now living in West London. I'm trying to rap about like conscious subject matter. I think when I was growing up, and particularly in the UK, but also in America, I kind of thought that kind of rap is about certain subjects in terms of like money, drugs, and girls. And I always thought like I'd never be able to
Pull
rap
that off.
because I didn't want to rap about those subjects. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when I started exploring it earlier this year, I actually thought, oh, my stuff's probably more comedy because it's not about those subjects. But then as I got into it, I kind of learned more about conscious rap, and I'm quite comfortable in my genre now, to be fair, and alternative because it's kind of atypical, really. So I also go by flat cap or flat cap rap. So I wear like a flat cap when I'm performing because it's like a Yorkshire
Yeah.
typical side of thing, but a rapper it is like a symbol, really. It's part of my artistry, you could say.
Quick question. So you lived in America. How long did you live in America for?
Sorry, I didn't say I lived in America. I meant
Oh,
I'd heard the
got you. Got you. Got you.
I heard American rappers talking about those subjects, is what I meant. I was probably more into American rap music rather than like UK at first, and then I kind of discovered the UK one later.
So when you say America, what sort of American rap did you listen to before, or do you
I
listen to now?
think the first one that I heard was probably Kanye
Oh wow.
in like the mid 2000s, and then I remember hearing Stronger on the radio when I was like 8 and just like loving it. And then kind of heard, I mean I've obviously heard of Eminem and listened to Eminem, but I really liked kind of Kanye and particularly the Watch the Throne album with Jay Z and even
Yeah,
Jay
that's
Z.
brilliant.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite albums probably. Um, and then, yeah, as I got older, I really liked Travis Scott, like as he was coming up. So I'm seeing him at Wireless this weekend actually, which should be really good.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But I just really liked his energy. Like I wasn't too much into lyrics when I was more of a rap fan rather than actually making rap music, but I just really liked his energy and his kind of he had his own unique style coming through. So those are probably the artists that kind of I listened to mainly as I was getting into rap music.
You pretty much answered the next question because I was going to ask you what made you get into music, but obviously you pretty much answered that with the
Yeah,
with
I
everything
think
there.
there's a difference between I guess when I was listening to rap music and when I was actually making it myself. Like in terms of making it myself, I only started doing it early this year. I've had kind of mental health issues in the past, and I found journaling a really good way to like process that and to kind of
Yeah,
get my thoughts down, how I was feeling, and writing about it. And that was probably when I first started writing, and I'd been writing, journal passages for like a kind of a year and a bit really. And I was a big fan of rap music, and it kind of just took me a while to make the connection between, oh well, why don't I start writing lyrics or poetry or it's just more like I could rap along to songs, but I just needed confidence. And like I'm 25 and I started doing it then, so I'd never thought about it before. It was more of a confidence thing in terms of okay, I'm kind of happy with myself now and I want to give this a go. And yeah, I started doing it earlier this year and just fell in love with it. To be honest, I found it quite easy because I had so much stuff going on in my head. It was quite easy to pen down some thoughts and wordplay and stuff.
okay, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And what was the inspiration behind your latest track?
Yeah, so I released a song last night called "Tell Me." So I've got two songs out at the moment. So I guess "Tell Me," it's kind of a collaboration with an electronic music producer called Mark Music. Yeah, so it's kind of like a garage type tune. I think I met Mark at an open mic, and I was really keen for like collaborating with people at first because I was just looking for beats and instrumentals which I could, get my lyrics on really. And he really liked what I did on the open mic, and we stayed in touch. And we made one song which was "Tell Me," and then he said I inspired him to make another two beats. So we've got two other tracks coming in the summer.
So are you going to do like an EP or anything, or are they just going to be two separate singles?
I think so. There's three in total. I think we're just going to drop one over the summer, like every month. So we've dropped one now, and I think we're going to look to release two other separate ones. So yeah, it's just more dropping them as singles rather than separate subjects. But I think, I mean, because it's like a dancey type track, I used because I guess I have my lyrics, but then before I even think about the beat, when I fit my lyrics to the beat, you know, a lot of times there's too much. So I'd use kind of some spare lyric. I've got like a backlog of lyrics basically. So I'd use that because I think on a dance type track, the lyrics aren't as important. It's more just like vibing with it. And then I just adjusted them to the beat and just kind of made it its own thing. And that's how Tell Me was created.
Okay, that's brilliant. I mean, the last few questions really. And what advice would you give anyone who wants to do what you do?
I think it's about being brave. I think that's really important. Like, obviously, I'm going for a whole atypical thing. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, you know, I'm not like here talking about women, drugs, or money. I'm here like these are my conscious thoughts on society, and you know, like trying to be funny as well and atypical. So I think if you believe in something, then the only thing that's stopping you from expressing that as an artist are like the thoughts in your head. And through like meditating, that's something I learned a long time. Like I was kind of raised in an environment where a lot of things were deemed like cringy, and I filtered myself a lot growing up. And I think after that created so many mental health problems, it you know over time I just became more unfiltered, and now I'm just like this is me as an artist, but you want to stand out at the same time. Do you know what I mean? As an artist, you want to do it because so many guys, you know. So I want to be unique, and I believe in the stuff I create. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's funny or atypical or alternative, like I really like it. So you just got to. I think meditation's really important to, you know, if it doesn't fit with what society expects, then you know, good, you're bringing about something new. So just go for it. Just go for it.
And the last question is, what would your dream collaboration be with what sort of like you could say big artist?
Yeah, I'd love, in terms of production, I'd love to be on like a Kanye beat because he's done some crazy like instrumentals, and even if a feature with him, I'd love to kind of just rap over that. But then in terms of lyrics, like probably Eminem, that'd be pretty mad. Like if you've heard the song "No Favors" by Big Sean and Eminem, or even like on Churchill Downs with Drake and Jack Harlow just doing like a back to back with Eminem about a particular concept or theme, that'd be special. But I am like when I'm doing my solo projects, I am just thinking about myself. I think in the concepts and projects I've thought of so far, there's only one song where I thought I'd need a feature, because a lot of the like if I'm doing a collaboration, I'd want it to be like its own thing rather than just I need features for my album. Do you know what I mean? Like that's something I've never really got. Where I know it's like when I see rappers that have features on their album, it's like oh wow, you know all these artists. But I'm just like if this is about me, then I'd rather just have myself on it, and then you know, if I need someone to sing, I'll get a feature because unless I apply a shitload of auto tune, I can't sing. Do you know what I mean?
And this is a wild question. This is just out there. It just came on my head as well. What would your dream situation be in 12 months' time? And you could just go all out there. Just go all out there with it. Just be as wild as you want with the answer. So what would be ideal for you June the 7th, 2024?
I think in terms of, I would have liked to, I mean, timings aren't that important, but I would have liked to have released like a longer project. And then I'd want to be a full-time artist, to be honest. I think I've kind of been steered in the finance direction by my, you know, influences and environment. And, you know, it's fine. And I do project management and that helps with the music stuff. But like, I'd like to, you know, I'm very passionate about creating music and art, and I'd like to be doing that full time, to be honest, and getting enough attention and recognition to do it full time. I don't really care about being in the charts or number one recognition. I think, to be honest, there's a sweet spot where you get enough money and attention to do music full time, but you stay out of the heavy media limelight, and that's kind of a sweet spot where I'd like to be. But you know, if it takes off more, than fair. Do you know what I mean? Because I want my messages to. I mean, I want to get my messages out there, but I'm not in control of how people respond to it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would like to go full time in music, but it's dependent on how people respond to it. Like if I work, I'll happily work for the rest of my life and create on the side. Do you know what I mean? It just depends. Like I'll never make a tune about like popular subjects to try. I'll never make a tune to blow. It's just about what's the next step in terms of the creative vision that I want to do. Do you know what I mean?
That's a brilliant answer, man. That's the best answer I've heard in a long time. Because usually a lot
Well,
of people just want to sell out and be commercial and just obviously blow up. But
yeah,
come on, man. The chances of that is going to be so slim. So
I
that's
know.
why what you said is like the perfect answer when you said that as long as you get hit a sweet spot where
Mm,
you get enough in and the music's still getting heard, you can't ask for more than that in life, and especially with this music industry as well. That's
yeah,
my personal opinion. Because
yeah.
once you start to go too high, just be prepared to go back to work. That's what I say to a lot of people because
Mm,
it's difficult unless you know the right people. And then also, when you're doing what you want to do, you haven't got any restrictions with people telling you what to do and stuff like that. And that's it.
mm.
So, any last words you want to leave with?
No, no, just really enjoyed the opportunity speaking to you. Go check out Where Do You Think I Come From and Tell Me by Jadaker out now, and more to come. Yeah, so I've got some singles, two more singles dropping with Mark this summer, and then a solo EP coming by the end of the year. So exciting stuff.